What is up, YouTube? My name is Isaiah Barlow, and today we're going to tell you guys how to instantly increase your credit score. For those who don't know me, my name is Isaiah Barlow. I'm a videographer by trade, real estate investor by night, and also personal finance credit guy by other day. So if you guys like what I talk about on this channel, which is just personal finance, alternative investments, and just things that I like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as that like button for your boy. It really helps out the channel. But enough of all that, let's get into how to increase your credit score. All right, so about 6 to 8 months ago, I wanted to get a credit card, and I really wanted to make a name for myself in terms of my business and finance, blah blah blah, right? And I was getting into personal finance, all the good jazz. And because of that, I decided maybe I should get a credit card, but I should look up everything about credit cards and how to do better at my credit score and blah blah blah, right? So at the time, I was like really sitting on like a 640 or 630 credit score, and that was just because I never had a credit card in college. I didn't believe in it. My dad and my mom never believed in credit cards like that because that's just not what we do. And truthfully, as black folk, in my opinion, we get told that credit is bad, credit cards are bad, don't do them. However, if you know the system and know how a credit card works, you'll be able to leverage that for your business and you'll be better off in the long run. So today, let's get into how to increase your credit score. By the way, as a disclaimer, these tips are not some magic or voodoo. Everything takes time. You need to do your diligence and work when you do these tips. And also, these are not something that I know as a secret and that nobody else knows. No, these are very known tips. You should probably just look on the internet to figure out other stuff. So when it comes to your credit score, there's several things that come into play. Number one is your credit history, your payment history, as well as your credit utilization, okay? So let's break down each one of those things, and I kind of said them backwards. So let me start off with credit utilization to begin with. So when I say credit utilization, it means how much you actually use your card. If you have an $1,000 limit, are you going over your actual limit? Okay. Now, when I say actual limit, I'm going to break that down as this right now. So when it comes to your credit limit, you actually only should be using about 1/3 of that, okay? You should not go over 1/3 of your credit utilization. So let's just hypothetically say you have a credit limit of $1,000, okay? Divide that by 3, that's about $300, okay? You should not go over $300 in a billing statement. You should probably keep it between 300 and 0. And truthfully, more like $301, so you can actually increase your credit score. So when you use your credit card and you have a certain limit, know your actual limit that you should not go over. Because if you go over that 1/3 limit, well, you're gonna start to negatively affect your credit score, regardless of how you feel. Now, I'm not saying never go over it, because sometimes there might be an emergency. Your car might break down. You might need something for like your business or your home office or whatever. Things get tight. It is what it is. Life happens. But at least you now know the rules to engage with, so that way you're not running into a situation where you're always going over that 1/3 limit and wondering why your credit scores are going up. Okay, so when it comes to your credit utilization, you want to keep it under 1/3. Okay, so this is a very, very key and important part, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Second thing you want to do is always pay off and pay on time. Now, that's your payment history. So when it comes to your payment history, it literally just means, like I just said, pay off and pay on time. So you should not be carrying a balance every month. Now, good news, if you utilize your credit utilization's 1/3 principle as well as pay off and pay on time, you usually will pay off and pay on time, because chances are you won't be going over something that you cannot afford, okay? You'll be usually keeping at a certain amount in your, your credit balance that you can usually pay off with your paychecks or wherever you get paid. Now, the key thing about these two things, about your payment like history as well as your credit utilization, this right here makes up 70, not 7, not 17, 70% of your FICO score. 70%, that's a lot. That is a whole bunch. 70% of your FICO score is made up just from your payment history and your credit utilization, okay? So if you simply just do these two things, just pay off and pay on time, / go and keep under 1/3, never go over that, you will seriously see your credit score increase. So let me give a little quick testimonial real fast. 6 to 8 months ago, when I first got my credit card, I had like a 640, right? Something like that, 640 or 630, whatever it was. Low credit score, okay? And when I just adhered to these two rules, once I got to my credit card and I got just 1 or 2, I basically saw a huge increase in uptick in my credit score, okay? like pretty much 100 points at like just one credit card. Just at one credit card, I saw a 100-point increase just by adhering to these two things. Okay, so you don't have to really do much to increase your credit score. All you gotta do is really adhere to these two things. Okay, so the last little tip that I would give to you guys is also your credit history. Okay, how long have you had your credit cards? How long have you had a system of credit? Now this one's a little bit more trickier. You should, and this is recommended by most people, but just be careful with this, but you should have at least 4 to 5 credit cards. Now, I'm not saying you got to utilize each one at 1/3. If you just spend $1 on one, $1 another, $1 another, and let's say your main one you spend is like a $300, actual limit, as we said, out of that 1,000, then okay, do that. But I really highly suggest being careful with having multiple credit cards. You should. It's important for your credit score, particularly because the more you have and the better history you have, the more your score goes up. However, you should be careful if you're a heavy spender, if you don't know how to budget that well, if you don't know necessarily how to like keep up with your bills or just keep up with how things go. If you know that about yourself, do not get more than like 2 or 3, in my opinion. But you should have about 4 to 5 credit cards, particularly. That's what's usually recommended. And you should have a long history of paying on these credit cards. That's the part that takes a little bit more time to really increase your credit score to that great 800, but at the same time, you can still make it with just 1 or 2 or 3. Although those are the 3 tips you can really use to increase your credit score. Like I said, know yourself, y'all. If you're a heavy spender, be careful with credit cards because you can easily fall behind and fall into a trap of just paying on this credit card for decades and decades, and you're wondering why you're not really having a lot of cash flow just because you keep having credit card debt. However, if you use your credit card the right way, if you actually take the time to do these steps, and particularly the first 2, you will see yourself in a way better position for your business, for your finances. You can literally get a loan on a car at a lower percentage rate just because you have a good credit score. So now you have a lower loan just because you have a good credit score. That's a wonderful moment in life, and that's what you really want to be at. You want to be at that position that you can walk into a car dealership, walk into the a mortgage loan place, or anywhere you want to go, a business loan place, and say, hey y'all, I got a 800 credit score. I'm putting this down because I can do that because I've taken the time to actually adhere to these 2 tips at the front, and that 3rd tip lastly, and really make an impact on my credit score. So anyways, y'all, those are my 3 tips on how to positively affect your credit score. Please let me know down in the comments below how y'all feel, what you guys are gonna be doing now. I don't have any suggestions on credit cards particularly, just because I think everybody does different things. If you travel more, get a travel card. If you don't. And if you want to go through your regular institutional bank, do that. Increase your credit score, y'all. Do well in this life. Do well in your personal finances. My name's Isaiah Barlow, and I will see you guys in the next one. And make sure you guys hit that like button. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Peace.